Hi everyone, today I'm gonna read The Boy Who Unplugged the Sea. Building sandcastles was one of Marcel's favorite pastimes. He would spend hours on the beach with his dog Whippy creating amazing sculptures out of sand, shells, and pebbles. He tried building his sandcastles, but then, annoying, when the tide came in, Marcel's lovely creations were always washed away.
Can you read louder?
He tried building his sandcastles further away from the sea. Further away from the sea. But the sand was just too dry and wouldn't stick together. He dug really deep moats around them, but they eventually filled up with seawater, and his creations crumbled. No matter how big and strong Marcel built his sandcastles, the sea was always bigger and stronger. Before bedtime, as Marcel was washing the sand out from his toes, he had an amazing idea. "That's it!" he exclaimed. The sea was just like a gigantic box. He would simply unplug it. Without delay, Marcel got straight to work. Whippy, we're going to need something special to get to the bottom of the sea. With nuts and bolts and springs and screws, Whippy and Marcel worked late into the night, until finally was the last whiz of his drill. The diving machine was ready. Full of excitement, Marcel raced to the beach to launch it. Luckily, it was high tide, so with a splash and a zoom of his propeller, he disappeared below the surface. Marcel traveled deeper and deeper underwater, past all kinds of weird and wonderful sea creatures, until he eventually spotted the plug. The old chain was extremely heavy, and it took all of Marcel's strength to lift it to the surface. Their little boat swirled around as the ocean drained away, until they eventually found themselves washed up on the rocks. All around Marcel, the creatures of the sea were trapped on the sand and in the shallow rock pool, with no means of escape. Then Marcel realized that without the sea, the frozen ice caps would begin to melt, and the polar bears and penguins would have nowhere to live. He needed to fix things, and fast. "That's it!" shouted Marcel as he jumped to his feet. If there was a plug hole, surely there must also be a tap. But where could it be? And would they be able to find it in time to save all the creatures that need the sea? Just as they were about to give up, Whippy started barking. "That's it, boy, but how do we reach it?" "Yap, yap." Then Whippy gave Marcel an idea. With miles and miles of sand around, they started to build. The biggest most fantastic sandcastle ever. At the top, with a huff and a puff and a push and a pull, the tap finally turned on. With a forcible waterfall, the sea blasted out, sending Morsel and Whippy tumbling down into the rising water below. Morsel and Whippy tumbling. Quickly, the oceans filled back up. Dolphins were delighted, crabs were content, and the octopus were all overjoyed. The sea froze to make ice, and the polar bears and penguins returned to their homes. Finally, with everything back to normal, Marcel didn't mind that his sandcastles got washed away, because he can build a bigger and better one every day. The end.
Okay.
กดไลค์กด subscribe กดกระดิ่งให้ด้วยนะครับบ๊ายบาย